welcome back, boys and girls. It is the Sloppy Horror Podcast. As you guys know, I am your host and companion, scary movie companion, Mr. Christian Ramey. And sitting across from me is the best producer in the whole wide world, Mr. Ozark Mark. Mark, let these people know how you're feeling.
Yeah, I'm fantastic. This is the Sloppy Road to Halloween, as you know. As you know. And for some reason, every time we have a fucking season with a road, you decide to take us to space. For some reason, I don't know why, I don't understand your logic half the time, but we're in space now. We're in space, and this is a classic movie that we're talking about today, and you should be excited because everybody knows this in some way, shape, or form. We're talking about the classic film made back in 1979, Alien.
Alien. It's an alien.
You guys watching Alien? I was thinking, man. That just came out when I clicked on it when I was watching. I was like, oh no, the Alien.
I watched Alien with my baby brother.
Alien. Oh man, dude. Look.
I did like that.
Now this is in.
I might have ruined that for me.
This is in the sci-fi category, but this is horror 100%, and this is probably one of the most classic sci-fi horror movies of all time. Now, I gotta say, this was a lot of fun to watch because I have not seen this movie in a very, very long time. I almost forgot all of it, especially because there's so many versions of it now that are all updated. But now I read it, I was like, oh damn, 1979. So when you watch these older movies, I love these older movies that are set in the future. And this is set in 2037. So this is 10 years from now when they got all their space technology and they didn't get anything right. It's still all analog and buttons. You know what I mean? Nothing's right. There's no touch screens anywhere, no holograms. They completely got the technology wrong.
And we don't have that kind of, it's so funny because it's they get the exploration part, oh yeah, for sure, we'll have flying cars, we'll be doing this and that. You're like, no, we don't have any of that shit, homie. But we don't have analog damn green screen, but that was brand new. That was top of the line. That was... Dude.
So it's just one of these, it's always fun to watch these older movies, and it's so entertaining to me. I'm just laughing through the whole thing.
You could go back to that time and get a job as a computer scientist. You could be with your just knowledge of MS-DOS, yeah, I can type. And you're like, oh my God, he's one of those whizzes.
Yeah, HTML or whatever the fuck it is.
Yay.
You guys don't even know what the internet is yet. But man, that's always fun. So
it really is. Honestly, we have a new Alien movie out right now, so it's super relevant. We haven't covered any of these any movie from the franchise, and it's weird because I love space. I love space stuff. I'm a space nerd. But for some reason, I've never really jumped too heavy into sci-fi, space sci-fi, aside from Star Wars. Star Wars I definitely loved, and I love the idea of space. And Alien is one of those few, because I could say you could count the ones that I really like sci-fi wise, because I do consider Predator sci-fi as well.
Oh, it is.
So those kind of flicks, love them. The Thing, love it. There are certain ones that are, it doesn't matter if you're into the subgenre or not. They're just really good fucking movies. And they're hard to deny. A lot of work was done in this movie. Obviously, we're going to get into some crazy details. There's so much that we can peel back with this one. But I will say, first, before we start, if you are watching on YouTube, I would like to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel because A, it's completely free to do. It really helps us a lot further than you know, because we are not out here paying $10,000 to promote our TikToks and our YouTube channel. Any growth that you see from Sloppy Horror Podcast is done organically. That's just how we do it. So your little things of sharing videos, subscribing to all of the things, adding 5-star ratings to Spotify, Apple Podcast, that really does go far. It really does help. So if you guys enjoy the show, you're enjoying your time, take 10 seconds out of your screen time to help a brother out. Now, I will say, too, I am going to give everyone a nice secret surprise a nice secret surprise at the end of the episode for something that's coming up that everybody should be super excited for, and it's got a little bit to do with the Road to Halloween t-shirt. So
we talked about, well, what do you, okay.
yeah, it's a special surprise thing going on.
Can't wait to hear that.
Yes, it's going to be fun.
Because I don't even know what it is.
It actually requires no work from you.
Good,
which is really
thank
cool.
God. That is my favorite thing.
And it's a participation. It's all of us together. We can all hang out and do something really fun.
Participation.
And we'll get into that later. But the main principle of that is fuck Warner Brothers, and you'll hear more about that later. Fuck Warner Brothers, and we're gonna beat them, and I'm gonna show you guys how, because we're gonna do it together. But we don't have time for that right now.
Well, that's quite a cliffhanger to drop on me right now. Now I'm thinking about that.
Oh yeah.
What are we talking about again?
Right now. Well, initially I was talking about the secret surprise that I'm going to reveal at the end of the episode for the people to have a chance to win a Sloppy Horror Road to Halloween t-shirt.
Ooh.
Yep.
Am I included in this contest?
Yeah, you're included.
Damn right. I hope I piss all you off and win it.
I take your picture like, Mark won.
Damn right. And I'll wear it on the show and put it right up in the fucking camera and say, fuck you guys. That's what I'm going to do.
There has been a small part of me, too, that's wanted to, like, order, like, 30 of our shirts and just find homeless people. Like, y'all want this shirt? And then, like, even more so, it would be funnier if he didn't wear it and tried to sell it to other people. I hope that's what happens.
Yeah, that would be a good time.
He uses it, like, on his little tent or something. I don't know. But, like, all of the above I like. Hey, y'all want these shirts? Just have all the homeless people in our city rocking fresh, sloppy horror gear all winter. They got, like, hoodies and shit on. Yeah.
It's good promotion. Millions of people see them every time, especially get the ones that are on, like, the corners by red lights.
Yeah.
With the signs.
Fuck, dude.
Dude, that's the worst, is pulling up, like, right next to them.
And then the red light?
Yeah, you just like, damn it. Like, every time I see a homeless person by a red light, I'm like, stay green. I'm like, stay green. Because you don't want to make eye contact with them because you feel bad.
They give you, like, the white guy head nod, too, though.
I don't even look their direction.
Sometimes you can't help it, though. Like, you're kind of, like, glancing just to see who it is. Like, you're not trying to look at him, but he's looking to see if you're looking.
Yeah, because I'm curious. I'm like, how homeless are you really? Because most of them are not.
No, you'll see their buddy on the other overpass doing the same thing so they can buy dope. Which, go get high.
Dope.
Dopers.
All right, what the hell are we talking about?
Guys, we have a movie named Alien.
Alien.
Well, let's just fill shoes, I guess. Let's just fill shoes first.
Fill the shoes, walk the path of the wicked. Unleash the fury, let the chaos reign.
Let the chaos wane.
Let it wane, baby. I don't got an umbrella.
My shoes are empty, and I have to fill my shoes before I watch this movie. So why don't you go ahead and get your little list over there and tell us what was happening in 1979?
That's a very good point, Mark. How these people... I mean, honestly, Alien's one of those few where, like, you can kind of... It looks great. I think if you showed a complete stranger this who had no knowledge of the movie or whatever, they would definitely not probably say a 2024 movie, but I don't know. It looks well still. Holds up.
It kind of looks past. I don't know. I thought it was later than 79, honestly.
Yeah, me too. So, but it is nice to put yourself in the position, to kind of review some of the things that happened while the movie was coming out, to give a little perspective. So obviously, let's just, outside of our list first, let's just think 1979. 1978 is kind of known of the year that kicked off the slasher boom, and I would say that went to about 1984. I'm not saying there weren't slashers before or after, but that's generally deemed the boom, 78 to 84. That was the sweet spot. And what makes Alien so good, in my opinion, if you look at the movies that were coming out around that time frame, like Halloween was the biggest movie the year before. This movie is, I mean, no pun intended, the opposite side of the world. Like, I mean, this is like the other side of the universe is what Alien is. They're both great movies. They both deliver. But this is, say Halloween, John Carpenter has a lot of open shots, and then you'll get like the figure creeping in. He'll start to come in, but it's a lot more open shots, a lot more clean lines. And this it's claustrophobia. It's a lot of strobe. It's a lot of foreboding. You feel it building. It's a whole different kind of horror movie. And I just find that very interesting for a movie this legendary that's so unique to drop in the middle of the slasher boom. So 1979, this isn't the horror movie that people were expecting to see. Now, Star Wars was big. It crushed it in 77 and it kept going. But people weren't expecting this. So if we're looking at other movies that were very popular at that time, the box office, number one movie at the time, Alien dropped. Alien became number one, but Rocky 2.
Oh, good one.
After all these years, Rocky 2 might be my favorite.
It's on AMC every weekend. There's a Rocky marathon like every 2 weeks, I swear.
I know. That's kind of like the Star Wars too, where like my favorite of the franchise has changed as I've gotten older. You remember 4 with Ivan Drago. I feel like that's everybody's favorite as a kid with the first one, but as I got older, man, the second one has really rang true, man. Like when his wife wakes up from that coma and he says, "What do you want me to do? I will fight." And she said, "I want you to win." And Mick comes in like, "What are we waiting for?" You know, dude, that could pull me out of a coma.
I'll know I'm just a fighter. I just punch him in the face. I love logs. Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
So another movie, top of the time, Escape from Alcatraz, and Butch and the Sundance Kid. You know, so these are all iconic movies. But it's so funny when you go back to the box office at that time frame because there's like 8 movies. There were like. If you look up the box office for like 96, like you could scroll through the top 100 movies. There are so many movies that are released. Back then, dude, it's like 5 movies. They're like 20 on the year. Like, it's really weird.
Well, it wasn't that easy back then.
Yeah, and then, I mean, you can't watch movies at home.
No.
You're not watching movies. It'd come a couple years later.
You had to actually use film.
Yeah, you had to go somewhere. I'm jealous of that, kind of. So that's the movies going on at the time. If we want to talk about the music, the number one song at the time, first off, Donna Summer. Donna Summer was killing it. You know, she did the "Got some hot stuff, baby, this evening."
Got some hot stuff, baby, tonight.
Number one song. We were in the disco era.
Oh, yeah.
So, actually, number 2 is a funny song too. I always think of ODB singing this. Reunited and it feels so good. Peaches and Herb, baby, reunited.
Yeah.
Let's see who else we have. Oh, We Are Family by Sister Sludge. That We Are Family.
Yeah, you could keep that to yourself.
Now the thing is with that song, that got attached to the Pittsburgh Pirates that year. Spoiler, they won the World Series, and you remember how old guy Dale I used to work with got busted selling cocaine to Major League Baseball players, the Pirates specifically at that time? I remember him telling me, he's like, "Oh, when that song, We Are Family, came out, everybody was partying. Everybody." And he was like showing me videos of, and like they were, like the mascot, like they were all coked up, and like the whole stadium was just fucking partying their ass off. And it was such a funny, like every time I hear that song now, I'm just like, thinking of coked up Pittsburgh people in 1979, just having fun. Now, if we're going to talk, obviously the big things happened that year. You had like the Iran Revolution. One of the key points that I saw was huge. First year of the Walkman, the Sony Walkman. Obviously, it's a tape player, but home entertainment or entertainment on the go became a thing. Pittsburgh Pirates were your World Series champs. And these motherfuckers, dude, motherfucking Pittsburgh, 1979 Super Bowl champs are the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got the fucking Pirates and the Steelers. Like, you won the 2 ones that you want to win, the World Series and the Super Bowl. Like, the 2 you want, you got. It must have been really pure in 1979. Like,
No shit,
they were
dude.
doing it, boy. Your NBA champs of 79 were the Seattle Supersonics, and your NHL champions were the Montreal Canadiens. And I feel like y'all are pretty caught up for 1979. You got your little bell bottoms on. You feeling pretty rad. Now, we have to kind of get into a synopsis here for Alien. For a movie that paces at these molasses. I mean, this is the slowest goddamn paced movie in the world. This is one of the hardest movies to watch.
It is, dude. It's like, what, an hour and 90 minutes or something? I forget how long it is.
Dude, I feel like it might even be normal time, but just the way that it's paced, every scene needs lots, and it's like, oh my god, dude. Like, and I get it. It's what the movie is because they're in space and they're building that foreboding. They're making it tense, more tense, more tense, and that's what makes it so exciting when the things do pop out. But after you've seen it, you know, and you're watching it, you're like, oh my god, get going, dude. Like, get going. I mean, I don't think the chest or the you know, the coming out of the stomach scene happens almost an hour in, I feel like. I mean, it takes a while.
Takes a long time.
And it's not bad acting. It's not bad scenery. It's not bad anything. It's just fucking long. And
Yeah, it's just like you could have cut out 15, 20 minutes of that. Still been good. But that's, you know, that's different back then because, like you said, you only get 20 movies a year. It's different now.
You really do.
It's different now in this time and age, so it doesn't hold up well in that aspect. But, you know, I mean, if you got the time to sit there and get into it, it's fine.
I've also tried to weigh out, too, because obviously you have Alien, written by Dan O'Bannon. And if you guys aren't familiar with Dan O'Bannon, he's done a lot of stuff, but him and John Carpenter were really good buddies, went to school together, and they both were on the up and up trying to make things happen. And, you know, he wrote this, and they got Ridley Scott to direct the film. I truthfully, the way that he is and the way that he paces his movies, it's very on par for that. It makes a lot of sense for why, when you watch his work, you're like, okay, I get it. He's a storyteller, and I do like that. I really, really do. It's just harder nowadays. Maybe back to the last episode when I said try to put your phone in the other room. This is the perfect movie for that. And if you did, I really think you'd super enjoy it. If you get locked into this movie, like, you are in there. But it is one that is, man, you got to be ready to watch. You better be on your A game. You better be listening to every sentence, everything going on. But if I'm going to give you a quick synopsis, I guess as what I was going to say is, for a movie that's so slow and paced so slow and it feels so thick with all kinds of elements, it's a pretty simple goddamn story. There's a group of astronauts, we'll call them, like 9 astronauts. They're in space. It's in the future, and their job is to, like, they're mining different things. They like mining ore, you know, to bring back to Earth. And that's what they do. They're astronauts. Well, while they're out there, an alien ends up on board once they land on that. What was that they landed on? Was it a planet, or what the fuck was it?
I don't know. I would assume it's a planet. It's hard to tell because it's 1979, so it looked like some kind of Saturn planet. I don't fucking know.
They landed on something to fix up their ship, right? You know, so they're fixing up their ship, and alien makes it on board, and this alien is kind of like a symbiotic creature. It has to, like, use people as a host, and it kind of can become you. It was one of the very first movies, I feel like, that kind of tackled that at a big level. Special effects, holy shit. I mean, those still hold up, but I think that's what made this movie what it is. That the alien coming out of dude's stomach is a scene that a lot of people remember. Like, I bet you could ask your parents, and they probably haven't seen this movie in God knows how long, and they're like, yep. Mm-hmm. It's just one of them. You don't forget it. You don't forget the kid licking the pole in A Christmas Story. Like, there's just certain things where it's like, I saw that. I know, it's in there. And that scene particularly, holy shit. And I think the effects, it looked different because they're in space. So, like, it looked really cool, I imagined, in 79. Like, I imagine that was, like, a really cool-looking thing. And it still does, but, like, I imagine it was cooler back then. So it's a whole different world that they're painting. But it seems complicated. But really, astronauts go into space, land on a planet to mine some ore, fix their ship. Alien makes it on. They leave the planet, and the alien is still on board, and it takes out everybody except for our main character, our final girl, and Sigourney Weaver, who plays Ripley. And and also found it weird that the director is Ridley and the main character is Ripley. I was like, I don't know. I just thought that was strange. Might not even been him that wrote it, but it was just like that's interesting. That had to be confusing on set.
Probably.
But for as simple as I just made this story, it feels very complicated. Like when you're watching it, it feels like Space Odyssey 2001. It's paced like that. It's like Kubrick level of pacing of just like going and going. But the space, the isolation, that's what it needs. I don't know if that would have worked if it was a real quick movie, like bang, bang, bang. Like it would. The biggest congratulatory thing, or the biggest thing I can applaud this movie for, you can say what you want, but this premise is a B picture movie. The premise of it is a B picture. An alien that takes over a ship, like in '79 especially. That's a B picture. But what they really focused on was trying to make a B picture and present it like an A picture. And they weren't the only ones who did it. Steven Spielberg with Jaws is probably the best example. A big shark movie, that's not supposed to be what that was. And same with this one. And I think they did exactly that. You could have a lot of people watch this and be like, wow, this is a great looking movie. Like you can get real film student on people. And it's like, yeah, it's an alien movie. They just tricked you. Like they tricked you into making you feel like you're watching some. Now it's more common to see like you got like Matt Damon in a space movie, and like that wasn't the thing back then. Like that was Harrison Ford was kind of popular, but Mark Hamill, like nobody knew them. Star Wars made them. That wasn't what big people did. They didn't make space movies. And these were seasoned actors. These were great people, and they presented this as if it was one of the normals, one of the contemporaries. And I think Alien and Jaws did more in that kind of regard than many other movies have done. Jason is still a B picture to me. I love Friday the 13th. I love them all, but that's a B picture. Like that's a B. And they're not pretending not to be. Like that they're hot young people getting murdered by Jason. This is presented in such a way where they went so hard. The special effects again were done, H.R. Geiger, that guy, he's a Swiss artist. He's dead now. And some people I hear say Giger, but I'm quite positive it's H.R. Geiger. Makes like what the xenomorph looks like, the actual alien. That's what a lot of his art looks like, kind of like humans meeting metal and machine, and like it's kind of like a beautiful erotic machine creature human. I don't know. It's kind of strange to describe. I do remember our buddy. I used to live with when we were younger. He had a book in the bathroom that was H.R. Geiger. And when you're on psychedelics, taking a shit isn't like always happening. But I remember I went to make this attempt and I was in the bathroom and I'm like, not like licking the walls. I'm not that fucked up, but I'm fucked up, seeing a little visuals, And I opened this book and I was like, nope. I just remember throwing it like, no, it was scary. Like, this is not what I want to feel right now. Like, immediately. Just like, nah. It was like I was like a little kid with food, like, Like, I don't know why I opened it either, but the movies that he participates in, you can definitely tell his influence, and this was his main project. Like, he actually got on set and helped with some of the, because initially Dan O'Bannon just sent him the idea, like, hey, this is what I got. I want like an octopus-looking creature. Dan O'Bannon made it very specific that he wanted to see the creature, the alien, whatever the fuck you want to call it, in 3 different faces. The little baby octopus-looking thing, then to the kind of like the bigger-looking baby thing. I don't even know what you would describe that one, to its final form, where it's like standing. And he like sent a bunch of crude notes and like stick figures practically, like, this is what I want. And H.R. Geiger's like, okay, I got you.
Okay, I got the better idea. I figured it out.
I make it for you.
However he talks. I don't even know if that's how he talks.
I don't know how Swiss people talk.
I don't know either, but I'm not going to try to attempt.
Yeah? I feel like that's in there. It's like it's the G, or the JA for yeah.
I think they talk with their things like, oh, you want it's Asians, Asians. Asians. Yes. The aliens.
dude. It was a compilation, truly, of many brilliant minds for this movie, and man, I feel like, I mean, I'm gonna not taboo by any means, but a lot of horror movies, people make really dumbass choices, and then like the final girl lives because she's smart. Ripley is a awesome final girl. Sigourney Weaver crushes it, but I don't feel like anyone else deserved to die. Like well, except for that one kind of asshole dude. Ash, he was kind of an asshole, and he did die.
Wasn't he a robot?
Yes, well, he became. I feel like, you know, he ended up becoming like reprogrammed from the alien though. Like he was only one at the he was BFFs with that alien.
I guess so. I don't understand why he started leaking robot ooze. Like, why does he have robot ooze?
Well, I feel like it got in him and it took over him.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm sitting there, I was like, why does this robot leaking, like, it looked like leaky nut.
I know.
You know, it looked like, you know, your girl after she's been, you know, edging you for like 20 minutes and it's the aftermath of it. Like, she's covered in. I was like, why is he leaking?
Yeah, why are you doing this to me, lady?
Okay. And there was
yeah.
Crazy special effects on him.
Oh, I know, and some of the coolest.
Yeah. His head and all that stuff. And you could see, you know, it's 1979, so you can't really see the good transitions. Like, you can definitely tell when they switched from a prop head to his actual head again in there. So those switches aren't too smooth, but it's still fun to watch.
So, yeah, I just confirmed. Yeah, so he was obsessive. He was a scientist, more along the lines of I care more about making discovery than about any of your fucking lives on board. And he kind of got people in trouble, and he was he didn't help really, and he just, as a matter of fact, he's trying to feed people to the monster or to the alien, and he's fucked up. And I didn't mind that he died, but really everybody else is likable. Dallas is likable. I mean, all these guys, in my opinion, Parker, Kane, Brett's really funny. Even the other girl, Lambert. Nobody is really unlikable. They're all pretty cool. And usually in a horror movie, you've got those people with an underline and an exclamation point where you're like, oh my God, kill him first. I cannot stand this guy. I kind of liked everybody. When Brett got it, the old man, he's just looking for the cat, Jonesy. Jonesy.
Props to him, because he was smoking in space.
I know.
So bring that shit back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, these motherfuckers smoking on board, I don't think you could do that, but they did it in the 70s.
Yeah, they didn't care.
No.
They made a world. And that guy, that's Harry Dean Stanton who played him. And obviously he passed away in 2017, but I love that guy. He's did so many, he was an old school, Western style of movies, but obviously he did the Green Mile. He was the dude walking the mile, sitting a mile, that. Escape from New York. And honestly, he did a really good, it's an 80s chick flick. The Pretty in Pink, though, it's that's a John Hughes movie. It's 16 Candles. He was great in that. Dude's really good. He's such a good actor. But I loved Brett and Parker's relationship. They were kind of like the mechanics. Parker was so cool, man. He was so chill. I did not like that he died. I didn't want him to die.
Well, everybody did die, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Except for Jonesy.
I'm glad they saved the cat. All right, I'm glad they saved the cat.
That's the most realistic part of this whole damn movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you could go into a stranger's house, or if you go to your buddy's house. If your buddy starts punching on you, his own dog will bite him. Dogs don't like that. They don't like the drama. Hey, they referee. They get in there. Quit fucking around. A cat will watch you be murdered. Just, are you still feeding me? Or, they don't care at all.
Who's gonna feed me now?
Exactly. And I thought that was so funny. It shows the intensive killing and all this shit, and it just goes to the little kitty
Just the cat had no purpose of the movie whatsoever. There's just no purpose for that cat.
He didn't make it by doing anything different but being a cat.
No.
If you have a cat in your home and you want to find him and they're trying to hide, you can never find them. A cat wanting to hide, you'll never find a cat. you will never find a cat. Like, it's time to go to the vet, and that cat doesn't want to go. Good. I mean,
So
good.
long, as soon as they see the crate.
Yeah,
gone.
dude. And you have to find them, and they're so good. They're the hide and seek champs of the world. Like, your dog would hide behind the curtains, like, oh, like, yeah. Cats are so good at that. They find so many different ways. So I thought that was real.
Let's, take a break here and figure out more things about this movie.
Yeah.
Welcome to the What Do You Know Here. It's a segment here where we're here to tell you something that you may or may not know about this movie. So, if this is your first time here, you're going to find out things we know about this movie. Now, you may know what we know, you may not know what we know, but if you know what we know, you're going to have a we know-gasm. If you don't know what we know, you better find out what we know, and you're going to have a we know-gasm too. So, it's like a big orgy of we know-gasms. All over your brain.
All over the place.
All over your insanial cortex, or whatever it's called. So why don't you tell me something that you may or may not know about this movie? The space thing. Aliens.
Well, alien.
Alien.
I know, they fucked me up with that. They put an S on the second one. It's aliens.
Well, there's multiple of them.
Yeah, it just throws me off, It's like, hey, you want to say aliens for the first one, but it throws you off. I would have liked Alien 2 better. Alien 2. Now,
They should have went south of the border, called Alien Dos.
Dos. Part 2. Now, some fun facts about this movie. Now, the whole chest burster, stomach burster scene, whatever you want to call it, the torso explosion scene. Mr. Dan O'Bannon, which I feel I have sympathy for. I go through these issues too, but he had undiagnosed Crohn's disease, and he had really, really bad problems with his stomach, like his whole adult life. Like, it affected him going out to dinner with people, affect how he worked, the way he did stuff. Like, it really affected his whole life. And he went to the doctors and stuff. They just didn't know how to treat him right. And he just lived with this constant pain. And he always, he said, it feels like something is in me trying to get out. And, like, that's what inspired that. Like, that's a real-life canon fear of the writer of this movie. This is something that he's dealing with daily. And he's just like, fucking feel like something's in here trying to crawl out. And he made it on the scene. And it's like, everybody has, like, fears and different things like that. But this guy's, like, dealing with a pain he's going through every day. And it's like, that's how he dealt with it. Like, I thought that was so cool. I thought, in my eyes. But I am going to give you another little tidbit. And this may be, like, this is one of the coolest facts, really, I've ever heard from any of the movies. So about 31 minutes into the movie, when they get the alien ship and they had that egg chamber, well, there's blue laser lights all around this egg chamber on that alien ship, right? Well, the movie, the props people from the movie, they borrowed it for the band, The Who. Because I guess the next door on the soundstage, The Who was there, and they needed these lights, and they're like, hey, you can use our lights. So you got this movie being made here, and then next door, who are you? Who? They're over there doing their thing. So it's, when you see those lights, those are band lights.
Those
from
are
a famous band.
Those are Who lights.
The Who.
That's pretty fucking interesting.
That is. Now, do you know anything about Alien?
I know one thing.
Oh.
So, the tendons around the alien monster's mouth?
He had big teeth, big jaws.
Yeah, I don't know what he's got a lot going on there. You know what they used to make that? Now, keep in mind, there's no CGI. This is practical effects in this time period. You know what they use for it? Think about what it looks like a little bit there.
I'm thinking some kind of food?
No, that's usually what they go to, but no. They used a bunch of old condoms.
Yeah.
And they fucking made the tendons. Hopefully they weren't used. Hopefully they had the budget to get, they probably went to a gas station.
Yeah.
That time it was probably a nickel. It's
Oh,
50 cents now, which is outrageous, but I would know,
I didn't even know they made them back then.
So they would, it's probably why they got them, because nobody was using them. But, they went, they probably went to a gas station and be like, hey, give me all your stock of condoms and then we're gonna rip them up, and then we're gonna make alien tendons out of it.
It looked perfect.
There you go. It looked good. I never would have guessed that what it is. That was great work.
Yeah.
Great work there.
That's why the population stayed high. They were helping out there, you know.
Exactly.
That's what you hear with them old people, you know, like if you're the families before 1970, we had 9 children.
I know, there's like 12 of them.
9?
You know why? Because they were using condoms for movie effects instead of boning, which you should have been using.
No internet and no condoms?
Now we're in a recession because you guys didn't know how to pull out a fucking, you couldn't hold it and whatever it is. I don't know what you did there. Everybody was fertile. I don't know what's going on there.
Fucking
Who the
no
fuck
internet, no condoms.
Yeah, so you're very fertile. I mean, we drain each other. We don't drain each other. But
No. You were speaking with the hypothetical lady.
We drain ourselves. Is the word I was looking for there.
Yeah, there's no fluids left in the 70s. We're all out. I don't even think they drink water back then.
Probably not.
Do we need lotion? No. Conditioner? No. Just smoke. It'll make it look better.
Well, that's what I know. So, that's all the facts.
That's good stuff.
There you go.
3 facts.
And you're educated now, and now you can get back to the entertainment portion of the show because you're all educated. Goodbye.
Mark, we've made it pretty far into the show, and we really haven't discussed favorite parts of this movie. Do you have one that sticks out?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna go with a part that makes me laugh. You guessed it. It was obviously the chest bursting open scene is iconic. Everybody likes that. It's just looking at him like, which is funny. But the funniest part of that whole thing is when it hops out of his chest and it just runs away.
Yeah.
He's like, just seeing that little thing goes, run away. It's like fuck. Like, dude, if that happened to me, I'd be fucking super pissed. Like, anything small that you don't want in your vicinity running away, it's horrible. But that was funny, just seeing it running around, being all crazy.
One of the scene with Lambert that I really liked, where she was like, dude, Ash, I think it was, he was like, stop griping. She's like, I like griping. And then she started again. He said, cut it out. Like, fucking immediately. Like, there was such real dialogue in this movie amongst people that made it enjoyable. If I had to go favorite, though, it might be when Ash, they destroy his robot body and they're like talking to his head. I thought that was so gangster when he was like, I'm gonna paraphrase it. He says, "While I do empathize with your situation, he's like, you're gonna pretty much fucking die." It's like,
you have my deepest regards or sympathy or something.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
And you're like, okay, that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool. I liked that delivery, and he looked so good. He just looked really cool. The final scene was definitely cool. I liked the showdown, obviously. The legendary line, get off her. It's just fun to see. But I'm going to be real honest with you. Sigourney Weaver was a lot of people's heartthrob after this movie. I wasn't one of them. I was not one of them. Now, she's a beautiful woman, but I would blow out her back more when she was in Galaxy Quest. You remember Galaxy Quest with Tim Allen?
Mm-hmm.
There, I'm in it. I wasn't in it here. And maybe it's because she was kind of like bitchy, like she was kind of like, I just feel like she'd be like yelling at me. That whole vibe I didn't like. But, people went bonkers on that scene where she's just like in her underwear.
Yeah, you see a little bit of a butt crack, too.
Yes, and you are very correct on a little bit of a butt crack. Something's happened with it in the last 30 years. Asses just got like, boom, something happened, dude.
Plastic happened.
Or even outside of that, I'm saying regular girls got big asses now. Like, I'm saying back then.
No, it's all that butter and fucking cupcakes, bro.
Something, dude.
It's all that fucking ice cream and frappuccino floated with sugar. Goes right to the thighs.
Mm-hmm. And now...
And sometimes it doesn't work out very well. Sometimes it's just flabby. It's like, you got to get some shape to that, sweetheart, if you're going to put all that poundage down there.
Yep, you got shaped up, and that's fine. But now I'm so used to that. Now I'm used to, like some ass. Like, bro, like, I'm not, like... We're not... We're not. I saw a funny meme where it says, "I fuck with you girls that ain't got no butt. I fuck with you flatbread." Because I don't have any butt. I just have legs that meet my back. I don't have any butt at all. I just have legs that meet my back. So I sympathize. But after all these years, like, I'm analyzing, you know, the sex symbol, because she really was a sex symbol in this movie. And I mean, she's not ugly by any means.
She's just not your type.
Yeah, not something that I'm like, ooh, not by any means at all.
Everybody's got a type. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't know what it is, everybody's got a type.
That's true.
You know?
That's true. So if you're out there, you know, getting flatbread, that's fine, man. I ain't mad at you, dude. Do your thing. Do your thing. Do whatever works for you. I just, it was an observation that I thought that I needed to bring up, because that happens a lot. I mean, like, in the 80s, like, people went crazy over Molly Ringwald. You know, the redheaded girl from, like, 16 Candles and Breakfast Club, and it's like, huh. Not trying to be mean, not saying anybody's ugly. I don't understand the sex symbol
Well,
part
it's because
of it.
women were different than what they are now.
It's true.
Our sex symbols are different.
And it works for the men, too. Like, I mean, I love David Bowie, but they're like, oh, David Bowie is sex symbol. I'm like, my guy had yellow, sharp teeth.
Yeah.
Sharp yellow teeth like Pennywise.
Well, I mean, you know, there's differences between attractiveness in men and attractiveness in women. Now, women are judged by their looks. Mm-hmm. Men are usually judged on attractiveness by their money and status.
That's true.
That's just the truth. Okay, does that apply to everybody? No.
Yeah,
but
it's the old saying, Mark. It's the old saying. Men fall in love with what they see, and women fall in love with what they hear. That's why women will always wear makeup, and men will always lie.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Or you could be like me and tell the truth and
I
not have any luck whatsoever. But it is fun, you know. It is fun.
It does. It requires lying. It does. Hey, do you want to go?
It's too much work. I don't feel like doing all this lying. I was like, I'm not gonna. No, like, look.
Even if it's not like lies, as far as like I'm being dishonest or unfaithful, it's just, hey, babe, do you think this looks cool?
No.
Do you want to tell the truth right there? Not in a relationship.
No,
You don't want to.
Next one, I'm gonna be like, you want me to lie or you want me to tell the truth?
Do you want to go to brunch
And
on Saturday?
you don't get both answers. You get one or the other. You want me to lie or you want me to tell the truth? And most of the time, they fuck up and they always say the truth. So
I usually
make sure
try
you
to-
pick the lie sometimes.
I usually say the nice thing, but my face reads it all. You want to go to brunch tomorrow with my mom, and then we'll do this and that? Do you want me to?
Are you sure you want me there? Because
Is this something like me too, or like?
It just depends. You know, I mean, you paying for brunch? Cool. Can I show up 45 minutes after you've waited to get in there?
My correct answer of how I'm feeling? That sounds fucking stupid. I would much rather put fucking hot nails in my dick hole.
I'd rather eat a light bulb.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna say, like in Liar Liar, when he was like, when mommy was pregnant and she'd ask me if she was fat, I didn't say she was fat, but she was big as a cow. You know, it's like there is a little bit of that. So like, I do think there's some truth where it's like you gotta.
Best line
That
for
looks
that
nice.
Best line for that movie, dude. He's like, my teacher says beauty's on the inside. And he's like, that's just something ugly people say.
I really like that when they scratched his car in that too. When he went up, that guy scratched his car. He's like, "You scratched my car." He's like, "Where?" He's like, "Here." And he went up to his little booth and took the air freshener. He's like, "I'm taking this." He snipped it like, "I'm using it now."
That was already there. Oh man. Oh
shit, that was good. That was a good movie. Now, even though I don't know if I can really rank. Which, I don't know. I'm having a hard time with Alien and Aliens because James Cameron directs Aliens, and it's fucking James Cameron.
I haven't seen nearly practically any of them, so I'm out of this conversation.
I think the second one's a little more exciting. It's paced a little quicker, and then obviously you have more action going on because, like you said, there's more. But man, it's kind of like the Halloween franchise. Like, we can sit here and split hairs, but the 1978 Halloween's what kicked it off. That's like what started this whole thing, and 1979 Alien, this is what created all of this. And
Well, especially when you got something. I mean, you can always go back to the original. Anything when you have a franchise that is 6+ movies, regardless of how good the first one is, pacing of it, like you said, special effects on it, and whatever, it's still going to be the classic, and you're still going to enjoy it because it's what kicked off fucking everything. The first Friday the 13th, you can't hate it ever. It fucking kicked off everything. The first Halloween kicked off everything. The first Nightmare kicked off everything. The first Chainsaw kicked off everything. It's all that goes around, so you can never hate the original.
yeah,
Ever.
yeah.
Ever.
And the unfortunate part is, like, we can't, like, go back and watch it for the first time, or, like, we already exist in a world where these movies have impacted it and affected it, so it's not groundbreaking. But this movie, damn, was groundbreaking to levels that many movies weren't. I don't think we would see The Thing, or other things of that nature. The sci-fi kind of movies, I think it inspired big time, even later into, like, Species that we covered. Like, I mean, same, almost a very similar concept. An alien creature that takes over people's bodies. Like, it makes sense, dude. I do think, though, after all these years have passed, watching this, growing up with this, with it being one of the greats, it does bring in more than horror. This is one of those ones that I want to claim it all for us. Like, I want to, like, bring it in and say, oh, this is just us. If you go to the nerdiest people online debating film and whatever, this is there. This movie is. And I know why, because it's a good movie, but it's just, like, so random which ones are and are not. But many film people, this is in their top 10 movies of all time. Lots of people. It isn't for me. It's not my kind of pacing. Obviously, it's not my style there, but it's really hard to not give it props. I think another cool part, too, is that they had women and men and, a black dude. Like, it didn't feel like it belonged to one sex or gender or race. Like, it just kind of felt like everybody could, like, I like this. Like, it was just cool. In my opinion, it felt like everybody were friends up there, and that's what made people jealous. They're like, I want that life. I want to be up there with, like, a family of people doing my thing. Like, that's why people got lost in this, I think, as well. You get that special effects, you get the great story, and then just a seasoned cast of people that are enjoyable. I didn't really, aside from Ash, I didn't want anybody to die. Not at all.
Nope.
But they did. They didn't make it.
They didn't make it because the alien came in and got them.
8 days.
That's why you
up.
stay away from any distress signals if you're ever in fucking space, which we don't have to worry about because we're never going to be in space.
Yeah.
But after everything you've just said, you did point it on the head that this is not exactly being claimed by horror, but I am so curious of how this is going to rate on a horror movie rating scale when we go into the sloppy horror rating thing. So let's do that. Sloppy horror rating, baby, yeah! Whee! You made it. You fucking made it to another portal, to another realm, to another world, here on the world famous, one of a kind, unique, picture perfect sloppy horror podcast rating developed by Christian Ramey, your Scary Mary movie companion. He's here for you, and he's here to let you know what kind of horror movie this is based on a horror movie rating scale. That's how we did it. And how do we do that, you ask? Well, we do this in a series of 4 categories. 3 of the categories worth 3 points. Last category is worth 1.48 total love.
10 points altogether.
So you're about to find out what level of horror movie this rates. So you know when you go into it. So let's get into the first category here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is casting.
In my opinion, I think it's the strongest category. This is going to be a 3. Great actors. Everybody did a great job. Iconic lines. It just... you can't take one person out of this movie. Everybody belongs. Especially because they're all in one spot. And that not all movies are like that. Once you are kind of honed in on that. It's claustrophobic. The people, you get to know them, and I can't replace anybody in that movie. So I would say 3. I think they all delivered.
It's a tree. So we got tree out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the second category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is kills.
One of the weakest categories, unfortunately. For as much killing that's going on, it's a lot of off-screen, it's a lot of strobe lights, it's a lot of, you see the pop scare and then you don't see the aftermath, really. Some you do, but not always. I mean, it's screaming a 1 to me. I don't want to give it a half a point, but I'm thinking 1.
No, it's more than a half a point, but it's right around a 1. Mm-hmm. You know, you got 8 people or something died. But when you have deaths like that, I feel like you got to show love a little bit to the gore and the special effects. We had that too. So, but I think that's right around a 1. I would agree with that completely, if I were to give you my opinion on that matter. So that is 4 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the final 3-point category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is fear.
I need help with this one because I don't find this movie scary at all. Truthfully, I'm not going to ever be in space. I think it's cool. I think this movie's cool as fuck. And I think it's claustrophobic, but I have no fear from this movie. Like, there's never, there's no lasting effects for me. And that might just be me. But at the same time, I was kind of apprehensive when we started the show to, cover movies I don't like. And that's not the case for Alien, but it's just not one of my favorites by any means. And when I'm going back to rewatch it, I'm just thinking, this is cool. It looks badass, but it's so literally out of this world where it's just not even fearful for me. So, I don't know. What would you think on a score for fear?
I would go with a 1.
Okay.
I would go with a 1, just because, like you said, I completely agree with you with that. In our lifetime, right now, we are never going to be in space. Ever. Fucking ever. Nope. But we do know Alien exists. So there could be something fucking out there right now that's dead on what the fuck this monster is. It couldn't make its way to Earth. It is very possible. What are the odds of that? Fucking slim and none. Mm-hmm. But space is always fucking scary because it's there. But, it's not realistic. But to be honest with you, the scariest thing in this movie is I don't want to be fucking deep-throated fucked by an alien.
Yeah. Or a newspaper.
The alien on the face, sucking and deep-throating your fucking esophagus is the scariest fucking thing in this movie.
Have you seen this?
Because everybody looks at it as like, that fucking sucks. I would not want that to happen because the alien looks like a fucking spider or something that's based on an insect. So whenever you see something, you're like, oh shit, that's the alien thing. Is that thing gonna fuck my throat? I don't want that to happen.
At all.
No.
Have you seen those sleep apnea masks that look like the face hugger?
Yeah.
I was like, man, if you've got it and you gotta wear it, way to be. Mm-hmm. That's the way to go.
So it's there, but I mean, the movie does cause, you got claustrophobia in there, so people are really fucking scared of that sometimes. That's in there, and then it's just it's a very stressful movie at some points. Like, you're fighting a fucking alien. Like,
oh yeah,
that could happen. Very fucking slim chance. Very fucking slim chance. But I don't think you're gonna lose sleep over this or anything like that. So we'll give it a 1 there.
Okay.
That's what I would say. So that is fucking 5 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the final 1-point category for half a point each here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is rewatchability.
So, I do keep in mind for the general people, if it's rewatchable, I'm going no. Me personally, I'm going no. It was a chore to watch this movie again, without being distracted, for me, my attention span. I'm going no. I've seen it once, and it will never outlive that first time, and I've never forgot it. The chest scene, that, the stuff that was memorable, I did not. And like I said, this is one of the most top-regarded movies of all time. People are gonna say blasphemy, but I've thought about this long and hard. Unless I'm covering this movie again, I will never watch this again. Not because I hate it. It's very slow for me. It is painfully slow. And with the premise being so simple, after all of that, you're like, man, that's cool and all, but for me, no. I have never sought this movie out and put it on. Like, I want to watch Alien tonight. Like, I never in my life have I done that. So, I lean Predator, man. I lean Predator. Predator now. I watch fucking Predator anytime. I love Predator, dude. Like in the jungle and I don't know, but that's just me, and I don't want to influence anybody, or I'm not knocking the movie. I'm just saying, me personally, I will probably never rewatch this movie again unless I am like forced to, or like I have to for some reason. Someone else put it on, but I will never seek this out.
Well, hard for me, but for me, it would be rewatchable. But if you watch it for all the other reasons besides the actual story in the movie, like I said, like before, it's so funny. This movie is to watch like Beavis and Butthead style, fucking making fun of it, looking at all the futuristic technology, how it's all old and fucking analog-y and stuff, and you can appreciate the effects. Like, it's a cool movie to watch, but you have to be in and out of it for me to be rewatchable again. But again, it's hard to say no for me for such a classic movie. It's a fucking classic movie.
What would get me as somebody who hasn't seen it? Like, I'd really like to watch this, and you're like, all right, I'll watch it with you.
And it would be fun to watch it with somebody for the first time too. So I'll factor that in my rewatchability, but I'll give it half a point just because it's a fucking classic and all those other reasons. So with that said, that is total of 5.5 out of 10 for Alien. Here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast, right back up in your ass.
Aliens. Yeah, honestly, it's a good score for it. Some people were probably expecting a lot more. I don't want to lie. I don't want to pander.
Rewatchability is the opinion anyway.
Yeah.
That's a little opinion in there. Because what else are we going to do one fucking point for? I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think that's one of the strengths of the rating, is that like we're really trying to go outside the box and judge it on different elements here, aside from just like, I really liked that.
We certainly don't discriminate here.
No, I just told you I would never watch it again if I didn't have to, but I still gave it a 3 in casting. Like, you can't deny what it is. Like, it's like a sports player you don't like that's really good. He's good. I just don't like him. But I think. I will say I'm happy to have this one in the books. It's needed to be covered. I know a lot of people are excited about this new one. There's a lot of alien talk going on, so it fit perfect. I'm happy to check it off. But I did promise you little sons of bitches a surprise. As we all know, I have been the #1 advocate for the Salem's Lot movie to come out for the last fucking 3 years. And Warner Brothers gargles cold semen. Like, they let someone, nut in a cup and sit there for a while, and then they gargle that, like, and that's what their job is. That's what they're paid to do. Because there is no other reason why they fail so hard at promoting movies. They'll literally trash movies just to write them as tax write-offs. Like, with big pictures, too. They promoted Evil Dead Rise, awesome, but they let Salem's Lot, which was already recorded made by Gary Dauberman, James Wan, like legendary horror people, great cast, and a Stephen King story. Like, I don't know if you've checked the movies the last 15, 20 fucking years, but those do really well. So it was supposed to have a theatrical release, because as everyone knows, the first Salem's Lot was a mini-series. It was supposed to be the first theatrical release. Well, they stole that from us. They're releasing it straight to Max. I've watched the trailer. It looks so good. It looks so good. I haven't been this excited in a long time for a horror movie. Fuck these little bastards. You know what we're gonna do? On October 3rd, the premiere of this movie, I am going to hold a watch party, and we are going to watch Salem's Lot, okay? If people want to participate in that, they sure can. Obviously, I'm going to make a big post about that. I mean, we're probably going to do it via Discord. It's just probably the easiest way for the watch party. But fuck Warner Brothers right in the mouth. Everybody deserves to be excited for a premiere of this movie, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But if you happen to be a member who is attending this watch party, and you are subscribe to our YouTube, and at least one of our social media pages, you will have a chance to win a t-shirt because I will be there from the beginning of this watch party to the end. Okay? Now, we will need some validation from you on this. Now, many of you I do know, but I will, we're not going to have 5,000 people. You know, it's going to be controllable to a point where I know who's all going to be there because obviously with the Discord, I have to let you into the server. So we are going to put these names into a random. If you show up for this watch party, if you participate, if you are subscribed to YouTube and one of our social medias, you have a chance to win a Sloppy Horror Road to Halloween t-shirt that will ship right to your front fucking door. Okay? And you can tell me what size you wear, everything. I'm not just sending you some random swag bag. I will send you a fucking t-shirt that shows up to your front door or in your mailbox if you show up to this watch party and enjoy Salem Slot. And obviously, I have done all of the requirements because I need Salem Slot, and I fuck this, dude. People should be excited for this.
Well, that sounds like a fucking bombshell. That sounds like a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Can't wait for that. Mm-hmm. So look forward to that.
Yep, and that's
look forward to that.
3rd of October. I'll be sure to make more like TikTok kind of posts and post on our social to promote it and leave all the details. But I wanted to break the idea off for you guys right now. I've been thinking about that. I really have. I'm like, I want to go to the movies to watch this. And we can't, but at least we can have the premiere party.
We can go to the Sloppy Horror Theater.
Yeah. Well, boys and girls,
the SHT for short.
Let me give you a just real quickly. I want to give them, I guess, a little hint for next week. Your hint: the only thing that you are getting is, oh wow. Well, speaking of Stephen King and Gary Doberman and James Wan and people with yellow sharp teeth and white clown paint I don't know. He's one of those guys, you know.
We haven't done that yet?
Not the second one.
Oh.
There's the chapter 1 and 2.
That's right. And that's all you need to know. Mm-hmm. But until then, go fuck a pumpkin, make yourself happy, and then we'll be back next week to entertain your asses once again.
Goodbye.